deep inside the lilac forest, untouched by kingdoms, untouched by war, untouched by time itself, something eternal still exists. The unicorn stands alone among the trees, like a memory from before the world became heavy. Death held no claim over her. Corruption found no purchase in her wholeness. She exists beyond the fracture that defines human life. The forest feels suspended outside history. Wind moves through the leaves. Light bends softly around her white body. The world still remembers purity here. Then the wound enters. A passing conversation reaches her ears. Hunters speak of unicorns as vanished creatures. Lost creatures. Forgotten creatures. Perhaps extinct. Perhaps she is the last. And for the first time in her eternal existence, the unicorn experiences uncertainty. The moment changes everything, because eternity has suddenly become aware of absence. That is the true beginning of the story. Awareness. The first tremor of grief. The unicorn feels time pressing against something that once existed beyond it. Her immortality becomes visible to her only when it appears threatened. And then comes the line that reveals the entire soul of the film. I can feel this body dying all around me. That sentence carries the weight of incarnation itself, the eternal soul entering matter, Sophia descending into the world, the divine feminine awakening inside mortality. The last unicorn unfolds like a children's fantasy on the surface, yet beneath the softness lives one of the most devastating psychological myths ever animated. The film maps the catastrophe of becoming human. It explores what happens when an eternal being enters time and gains consciousness through suffering. Because innocence can remain pure only while it remains unconscious. The moment awareness arrives, paradise begins to collapse, and grief enters the soul. The world of the last unicorn feels spiritually exhausted. Magic still exists, yet it survives in distorted forms, cheap forms, broken forms. Wonder has become spectacle. Mystery has become entertainment. Human beings move through life unable to recognize the sacred even when it stands directly in front of them. When ordinary people look at the unicorn, they see only a white mare. Their symbolic vision has died. The world suffers from spiritual starvation. Mummy Fortuna understands this better than anyone. Her midnight carnival survives by selling fabricated monsters to people desperate for illusion. Truth demands transformation. Illusion asks only for surrender. Fortuna captures the unicorn and disguises her with a fake horn because the crowd can only perceive magic when distortion is added to it. That detail reveals the entire condition of the world. Human consciousness has drifted so far from itself that authenticity becomes invisible. Schmendrick wanders through this dying landscape like a fractured magician trapped between destiny and insecurity. His tricks fail. His confidence collapses. His magic behaves like an unconscious force moving beneath his intellect. Then there is Molly Grew, one of the most heartbreaking souls in fantasy. She carries the exhaustion of a life spent waiting for transcendence that never arrived. Her face carries bitterness, longing, and grief all at once. And when she finally encounters the unicorn, her reaction bypasses joy entirely. It erupts as rage. "Where were you when I was new?" That line cuts directly into the human condition. The adult soul mourning the loss of wonder. The woman grieving the sacred connection she once hoped life would contain. The ache of realizing the miracle arrived after innocence disappeared. Meanwhile, King Haggard rules over a kingdom already spiritually dead. His castle rises from barren stone like a monument to inner emptiness. Nothing grows there. Nothing breathes there. The land mirrors the state of his psyche. The sacred endures. Humanity has simply lost the eyes to find it. And the film quietly suggests that truth can only be seen indirectly now. Out of the corner of the eye, like the cat says, direct vision belongs to the rational mind. Peripheral vision belongs to intuition. The soul still remembers what the intellect has forgotten. The last unicorn operates like a dream emerging from the collective unconscious. Every character represents a fractured aspect of the same evolving psyche. The unicorn herself represents pure being, the eternal soul. Sophia before incarnation. She exists as untouched wholeness at the beginning of the story. Then she becomes Amalthea, and the eternal enters psychological time. Schmendrick represents the hidden self trapped beneath insecurity and performance. He hides behind tricks because he fears authentic power. His magic functions only when control dissolves. The deeper force inside him emerges only through surrender. Molly Grew represents wounded intuition, the part of humanity that still longs for transcendence, even after disappointment hardens the heart. Her grief becomes sacred because it proves the soul never fully stopped remembering. Then there is King Haggard, one of the most quietly terrifying figures in fantasy. Haggard embodies the demiurge ego, spiritual emptiness wearing the mask of authority. He craves beauty. He depends on it utterly. Yet it passes through him like light through glass, consumed but never absorbed. So he imprisons it. That becomes the tragedy of the ego. Possession without transformation, consumption without communion. The soul cannot absorb transcendence through ownership. And then comes the Red Bull. Pure archetypal force, fate, trauma, evolution. The terrible pressure that drives consciousness forward whether the psyche is ready or not. The bull hunts the unicorn because eternity cannot remain innocent forever. The soul must eventually descend into form. Innocence must encounter suffering. The Red Bull becomes the force that pushes the divine feminine into incarnation itself. The turning point arrives with catastrophe. Cornered by the Red Bull, the unicorn faces annihilation. Schmendrick panics. His magic erupts from someplace deeper than intention. And the impossible happens. The unicorn becomes human. Lady Amalthea emerges, already beginning to forget what she once was. This transformation feels horrifying because it mirrors incarnation itself. The eternal soul enters flesh, and immediately fragmentation begins. Schmendrick's magic reveals its paradox here. His power manifests only when he stops forcing it through intellect. The more he surrenders control, the closer he moves to authentic creation. Yet authentic creation carries terrible consequences. He saves the unicorn's life by destroying her eternal identity. Amalthea begins experiencing mortality almost instantly. Fear enters her nervous system. Time enters her perception. Desire enters her body. And memory begins dissolving. The film captures something psychologically devastating during this section. Human consciousness forms through separation from original wholeness. To become self-aware means becoming vulnerable. To become human means becoming divided. Then, Prince Lear enters the story. For the first time, Amalthea experiences longing directed toward another being. Love emerges alongside terror, because attachment introduces the possibility of loss. This is the hidden tragedy of incarnation. The more deeply consciousness awakens, the more deeply suffering becomes possible. Yet suffering also creates depth. Without limitation, there can be no empathy. Without mortality, there can be no urgency. Without grief, there can be no soul. The divine feminine has fully descended into matter now, and the clock has started ticking. Haggard's castle functions like a psychic fortress, a prison constructed by defensive consciousness. The ego can only preserve, hoard, and contain. Creation requires something it surrendered long ago. Every hallway feels cold and dreamlike. Every stone feels ancient and exhausted. The castle resembles the architecture of trauma itself. Then the film introduces its gatekeepers of truth. The cat understands reality through intuition. He sees what others miss because instinct outlasts intellect. Truth survives in feeling long after reason becomes corrupted. Then comes the skeleton guarding the clock, one of the strangest and deepest scenes in fantasy. The skeleton demands wine, yet only imaginary wine satisfies him. That moment carries enormous symbolic weight. The dead past answers only to myth, art, and symbol, the language of the invisible. Human beings survive psychologically through stories capable of feeding the parts of the soul that reason alone cannot reach. And Amalthea herself mirrors the ancient Gnostic myth of Sophia, divine essence trapped inside matter, forgetting its origins, longing for home while slowly losing memory of what home even was. The film presents incarnation as both tragedy and initiation, because something extraordinary begins happening to the unicorn during her suffering. She develops emotional depth. She develops compassion. She develops individuality. Pain creates interiority. The eternal soul gains texture through limitation. And the film quietly suggests a terrifying possibility. Perhaps suffering itself becomes the mechanism through which consciousness evolves. The unicorn gains a soul precisely because she becomes capable of sorrow. Prince Lear represents a fascinating archetypal failure. He approaches reality through traditional heroism. He believes courage, quests, and noble acts can solve existential horror. Ordinary heroics dissolve against the bull. Fate has no body for a sword to find. Still, Lear continues moving toward Amalthea with sincerity and devotion. Unlike Haggard, he chooses sacrifice over possession, and that changes everything. When the Red Bull attacks, Lear throws himself between the bull and Amalthea, fully aware of what it will cost. He falls. That moment breaks the spell of amnesia. Not magic, not prophecy, grief. The unicorn remembers herself through heartbreak. Witnessing the death of someone mortal awakens the full force of her divine nature, because love has transformed her understanding of existence. She fights for mortality, for human fragility, for the unbearable beauty of temporary life. That realization transforms the entire myth. Before becoming human, the unicorn existed beyond suffering. After becoming Amalthea, she understands why suffering matters. The film reveals something profound here. Individuation requires descent. Wholeness demands confrontation with limitation. The soul matures only through what breaks it. It must encounter shadow, grief, terror, and love. Only then does consciousness deepen enough to become fully alive. The Red Bull finally falls back into the sea. The imprisoned unicorns return to the world. The wasteland begins breathing again. Life returns to the kingdom. Yet the central tragedy endures. Because the unicorn returns, carrying everything she learned to feel. She walks again through the lilac forest. Yet something fundamental has altered inside her forever. She says, "I am the only unicorn who knows sorrow, and the only one capable of regret." That line reveals the final transformation. Before the journey, she existed as eternal innocence. After the journey, she possesses consciousness shaped by experience. She has integrated the shadow. The unicorn becomes more than immortal. She becomes individuated. And perhaps that is the hidden truth, buried inside the entire film. Every human life mirrors this journey. Every soul enters the world carrying some forgotten spark of eternity. Then life covers it with fear, trauma, memory, longing, heartbreak, and time. Human beings spend decades searching for what they lost without realizing the loss itself became part of the awakening. The journey through suffering was never separate from transformation. It was transformation. Perhaps every person is a forgotten unicorn trying to remember their original nature, while slowly becoming something deeper than innocence ever allowed. The soul enters the world untouched. Then life breaks it open. And somewhere inside the grief, consciousness finally awakens. Keep wondering, keep questioning, and keep feeding the flame of your inner world.